Hey, good morning. Let's go over today's trade plan. So in the overnight session, responsive buyers continued to be active and defend the 83.5 to 86 support area. Heading into the open, our short-term bias is going to be neutral, and we know that the market can, on the smaller time frames, tip to either direction, but the larger time frame bias remains unaffected and continues to be bullish. So holding above 83.5 to 86 would tell us that buyers are still fairly active in this market, even on the smaller time frames, and holding above the zone can lead to a reversal back up towards the 98.5 to 2201 initial resistance. In the event of a break below 83.5 to 86, that larger time frame bullish bias can still be active at the 76.5 to 79.5 support area, or in the event that we push even lower into the 72.75 gap, 72 naked VPOC, and especially the 68 to 70 support zone, that larger time frame bias can really kick in and buyers can step right back into the market. So right now we are still going to continue to favor the long side and be more cautious and conservative on the short side. Holding above initial support and continued balancing above that zone could eventually lead to a upside move, and the upside target on the day would be then 98.5 to 2201. In the event that we break below initial support, the upside target, of course, would not be 98.5 to 2201. In that case, perhaps we reverse back up into the overnight range and the 91.5 to 93.5 zone. But we are going to give the benefit of the doubt to buyers, and in order to take any shorts, we would have to see a lot of broad market weakness and downside momentum in real time. But absent any clear bearish signs on the day time frame, we're going to favor the buyers and expect the market to return back up to the 98.5 to 2201. We're also going to keep an eye on the Nasdaq. We know that NQ has been weighing on the market and is the weakest index right now. But in the overnight session, even NQ got pretty close to larger time frame support where buyers stepped in. And if now we can continue to see responsive buying in NQ and at least the selling dries up in Nasdaq, then that would be weight lifted off the S&P, which again would support that hypothesis of ES returning back up to the 98.5 to 2201 area where we have that 2200 high volume node. Now, in order to push beyond 2201, we are going to have to see a lot of broad market strength and some strong upside momentum. So beyond 98.5 to 2201, we have yesterday's high at 2202 and the 24-hour session high at 2203. So in order to break through that, it is going to require some pretty decent momentum. And the odds of that happening on the day time frame heading into the weekend are questionable. We still want to be somewhat conservative on our targets, and 98.5 to 2201 is not an extremely aggressive target. It would simply be a return to the 2200 high volume node, and that was a fairly accepted price in the recent balance. So again, off the open, we are going to stick with a neutral short-term bias because that larger time frame bullish bias doesn't necessarily have to kick in immediately here on the smaller time frames, because the larger time frame bias would remain bullish even if short term the market broke down and tested some better areas of support below. So we just have to make sure we can balance that larger time frame bullishness with the short term neutral bias, because yesterday was of course more bearish. But the expectation is that this is just a normal pullback within an overall uptrend, and buyers can still be active at pretty much every zone on the way down. We've seen that in the overnight session at the 83.5 to 86 area. We've seen a pretty nice response there so far, but the zone doesn't necessarily have to hold. If it does hold, of course, it signals continued strength. But like I said, even if we head lower into the 76.5 to 79.5 area, or even lower into the 72 naked VPOC and gap, or 68 to 70, those are still all valid areas of support where larger time frame buyers can be active. So as we approach those areas, at the very minimum, we want to be conservative and cautious on short side. In overall bullish environments, breakdowns have a tendency to fail, so we're really going to be counting on that principle as the market is testing support. So those are the main ideas heading into the open. Let's see if the buyers can be active on the day time frame again today, and we'll take it from there.